Translocation of problematic animals not only translocate the animal but also the problem. Here is a detailed report on the problems associated with the translocation of elephants. Come on, let's see in detail. This is Soumya's capsules enriched with knowledge. Translocation is defined as the deliberate and mediated movement of wild individuals or population from one part of their range to another. It is a commonly used tool in conservation. It helps in establishing, re-establishing and augmenting populations of managed species. It is also employed in managing problem wildlife, although a number of studies have questioned its use in this context. Due to ethical concerns and mounting objections to lethal control, translocation is increasingly viewed as a solution for all wildlife problems. The main objective of problem animal translocation is eliminating problem caused by wildlife, and secondly, it helps in saving the animal responsible for it. If the purpose is conservation, then translocated animals are usually released in empty habitats. But in the case of problem animal translocation, they are more likely released in areas fully occupied by conspecifics. Translocated animals may be first acclimatized at the release site and then released. Such a release is called soft release. If the translocated animal is released immediately, then such a release is called hard release. In the case of problem animal translocation, hard release is more common. Many thousands of problem animals are translocated annually. Prithviraj Fernando et al. Studied the problems associated with the translocation of Asian elephants. The Asian elephant is an endangered species. The global population estimate for Asian elephant is 35,000 to 50,000. Asian elephants are now extinct in 78% of their historic range. Currently, they are limited to a number of fragmented and isolated populations in Southeast Asian states. Most Asian elephants are compelled to share space with humans. This leads to frequent conflict. For example, over 70% of about 6,000 elephants in Sri Lanka live outside protected areas, where human-elephant conflicts claim the lives of over 70 humans. Elephant social organization is sexually dimorphic. They are organized into complex social structures of females and cows, while male elephants tend to live in isolation or in small bachelor groups. Males display a higher propensity for crop raiding, accessing superior resources to gain in size. Some males raid crops, breaks into house for stored grains, and react aggressively to confrontations, causing human injury and death. They are considered as problem elephants. Such individuals are responsible for majority of the human-elephant conflict incidents. Translocation remains one of the main elephant management tools, and hundreds of elephants are translocated annually. Translocating problem elephants aims to mitigate human-elephant conflicts by removing them from human proximity. It also attempts to further elephant conservation. The modus operandi for translocating problem elephants is to capture it by drug immobilization, transport by truck, and release in a protected area. In Sri Lanka and India, elephants so translocated are exclusively males, while in Malaysia, Indonesia, and some African countries, it may involve both sexes. Prithviraj Fernando et al. Conducted their study in Sri Lanka. The researchers compared the behavior and human-elephant conflicts involvement of translocated and resident elephants. Researchers monitored 12 male translocated elephants and 12 male resident elephants. All 12 translocated elephants were identified as problem elephants by the Department of Wildlife Conservation based on human-elephant conflict incidents and information from villagers. Reported incidents of crop raiding, housebreaking, or human injury and death and entering areas of human habitation by monitored elephants were taken to indicate causation of human-elephant conflicts. The translocated elephants were fitted with radio collars at the time of capture. The collars consist of a GPS unit, VHF transmitter beacon, satellite or GSM transmitter for data download, and batteries which were packaged into one integrated unit. Collars that become non-functional were not removed because it was determined to be riskful to the elephant and to the collaring team. Usually, collar belting degraded within a period of 2 to 4 years. All the translocated elephants were captured outside the protected areas and released inside national parks. All the released locations were within the current elephant range and had ample water and fodder supply. Translocated elephants were hard released and the time from the capture to release was 1 to 3 days. Translocated elephants were tracked using the VHF beacon on the collar and observed opportunistically. All efforts were made to prevent and minimize suffering of the animal concerned to ensure the safety of the animal and the personnel involved in the research activities. Radio darts were used to maximize the safety of darted animals by reducing the search time and minimizing possibilities of complications of tranquilization under field conditions. Throughout the tranquilized period, a veterinarian monitored the status of the elephant to prevent any complications. Tranquilized elephants were treated by wound cleansing and injections of antibiotics as indicated. Data received from collars were processed with the corresponding manufacturer software. The translocated and the resident elephants were tracked for 2 to 3 years. All translocated elephants were released inside national parks. Over the first 10 days of post-release, most of the translocated elephants oriented towards the capture site. All areas where translocated elephants settled had resident elephants. No aggression was observed between translocated elephants and resident park elephants. Researchers classified the translocated elephants as homers, wanderers, settlers based on their response. Those elephants which are homing back to their original place is referred to as homers. In the 5 translocation, homers return to the capture site thrice and short movements consistent with the successful homing twice. Wanderers showed misdirected long distance movements, whereas settlers settled proximal to the park where they were released without any directional long distance movement away from the release site. The drive of a translocated animal to return to their homing site may be due to the increased fitness occurring from occupying a familiar home range. Asian elephants have well-defined home ranges with high fidelity, and it is likely that translocated elephants left to the park where they were released in an attempt to return home. All 6 parks where the elephants were released had abundant water and wild fodder and female herds. Thus, it is unlikely that the decision to leave was related to resource deficiency. Some translocated elephants associated with resident park elephants, and there was no evidence of agonistic encounters between translocated and resident elephants. Therefore, consistent with non-territoriality of elephants, translocated individuals are also unlikely to have left the parks due to antagonism by resident elephants. Individual elephants responded variably to translocation by homing back, wandering, or settling, and the type of response being unrelated to translocation distance. Individual response to translocation may also be related to environmental factors such as relative resource availability of capture and release location, physiographic and anthropogenic barriers, and behavioral factors such as social status and covert aggression of conspecifics, and innate factors such as physiological, psychological states of individuals. However, such aspects are difficult to test empirically. Practically, all translocated animals were involved in human-elephant conflicts after their release. They ranged widely with homers and wanderers venturing outside normal elephant range, some even entering highly populated cities. Thus, problem elephant translocation results in wider propagation of human-elephant conflicts. Most translocated elephants resumed raiding after release. Elephants in shared landscapes are preferential rather than obligate raiders. Therefore, raiders are likely to be compulsive and continue to raid irrespective of changed circumstances. Most of the time, the successful problem animal translocation most likely translocate not only the animal but also the problems. Mortality is likely to be much higher in translocated problem animals. Translocation caused elephants to behave abnormally, increased their mortality, and subjected individuals to extreme stress. Elephants are a highly social species with a network of relationships even amongst males. Translocation disturbs such relationships at both capture and release locations. Elephants are also an intelligent and long-lived species. Consequently, profound negative experiences may have extensive and psychophysiological effects on their brain and behavior. Therefore, from an elephant welfare point of view, translocation is not an acceptable management tool. Thus, the researchers concluded that the problem elephant translocation causes intensification and broader propagation of human-elephant conflicts and increased elephant mortality. Hence, translocation is not the best solution for human-elephant conflicts mitigation. The driver of this translocation is public and political pressure. Capturing and translocating an elephant from the vicinity of major human-elephant conflict incidents and may diffuse tension, hence be of relevance in particular context. However, it was found that even if the original problem is solved by translocation, the same or more likely worse is created at another location. Based on the results, the researchers advocate that Public awareness is a key factor for phasing out problem elephant translocation. Translocation should only be undertaken with monitoring through GPS telemetry and contingency plans to address unintended outcomes. The detailed report is available in the journal PLOS on 2012. Thank you for watching, and I'll be coming back with more interesting videos. This is Soumya's capsules enriched with knowledge.